Oh, udah curiga.
Not actually because but it's yeah, few companies produce for worldwide and also the Blueprint. So Blueprint uh, have but they are under the brand walls or lots of famous stuff. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Now, finally, I would like for your board to tell
Hello. Bueno. Okay. Now, excuse me, can you hear me so I can start? Just tell me yes or no. Can you hear me properly? Yes. Good. Okay. Well, I'm going to start with my presentation. Thank you very much indeed. And today, as you all know, it is a special day for academia. As a formal and informal conversation we held over the years and now becoming a reality for so many academics from various universities, where INTraders has made a significant contribution. Over time, it has been preserved as space for creativity and love for academia. We are firmly convinced that academia is a great community of scholars and disciples who share the belief that this is the right path to follow in our life. Once again, we extend our heartfelt thanks and remain at your full disposal. Now, my first presentation is a presentation about 95, part 1, and the title is Academic Excellence and Ethical Publishing in Chilean Higher Education. Well, the author are there, the affiliation as well, and the corresponding author is myself. A comprehensive review. In Chile University, in general terms, are really following a rather strong commitment to publication and also asking the academic to do the best lecture possible according to the resources we have to do so. Now, that's fine from the, from the philosophical point of view. Nevertheless, to publish, they have asked the people to publish in journal Q1 and Q2. Those are the most important journals for them. This is not bad. These are very good, They have a lot of citation and quotation and so on. There is no problem. Nevertheless, we have found that the prices for this journal, to publish in this journal, are a bit high. Not to say that they are almost impossible. However, this publication-driven model has several critical flaws. Firstly, it discounts other valuable forms of academic output, such as technical manuals, policy documents, and teaching resources. Secondly, it indirectly promotes unethical practice, including redundant publication and submission to journal with a questionable peer review process. These phenomena, often associated with the rise of predatory publishing, has become increasingly evident in the case of MDPI. The Chinese-based publisher has significantly increased its share of Chilean publication. There is nothing wrong with the Chinese journal, just the opposite. It's just that the number of publications from Chile are in Chinese journals. The author recommends a fundamental shift in how academic productivity is measured. Institutions should embrace multidimensional evaluation models instead of relying solely on quantitative indicators like the age index, impact factor, and quartile ranking. This is Q1, Q2, Q3, or Q4. This model would include peer review, society impact evaluation, policy influence metric, and contribution to teaching. Influential declarations like the San Francisco Declaration on Research Assessment and the Lane Manifesto often offer a valuable framework for such reforms. So there are some evidence that things can do better. Our notable observation made by the author in Chile is that the Chilean scientific productivity, as measured by Web of Science, WOS publication has shown consistent annual growth since 1997. This upward trend has persisted regardless of fluctuation in Chile GDP, demonstrating that publication output is driven more by institution and policy pressure than by economic performance. Between 2017 and 2073, Chilean share of MDPI publication rose from 1% to 13%, raising concern among academic circles about the implication for research quality. There is a point here which is a bit long to discuss, but nevertheless, what we have done, we are going to show that in this presentation also and in the other presentation, so as to have an overall picture of what we are doing. If you follow in this way, the paper also delves into the bibliometric and metric tools used to evaluate scientific output, while tools like Web of Science and Scopus provide visibility into research trends that often ignore local language publication or community-based outputs. Bibliometric indicators such as the age index and impact factor are heavily cited, but they are often misrepresent a research real-world influence, especially in applied fields like engineering, which is not easy to publish in Q1 journals. It's not impossible, but what I'm saying it is not easy, and it is very expensive also, the publication fees. Almetric offer a partial solution by evaluating digital presence and social engagement. Additionally, this study examined international benchmarking practices, for example, in countries such as the Netherlands and South Korea. Evaluation models emphasize societal relevance and industrial partnership and mere publication metric. These countries have developed framework that recognize the diversity of academic contribution, which can include public lecture, course development, outreach activity, and advisory roles in government bodies. The paper itself, this paper is not a critic to anyone. It's just a model that we are putting forward for the scientific community to argue and actually to discuss whether or not the model is applicable for their policies and what they are doing at the moment. But we have some problems because you see people who are dealing with law, people who deal with the finance and so on, they don't have the same metric. Or in other words, they shouldn't have the same metric. And therefore, there you see a more careful study should be done. I just say that when my time is over for the presentation, just let me know so I can continue with the second and so on. Well, furthermore, the article explored the disconnect between teaching and research in Chilean university. Despite this, the vital role of educator in transmitting scientific knowledge, teaching contributions are often undervalued in academic evaluation. And this is very true, I'm afraid. This misalignment discouraged professors from developing pedagogical resources or engaging deeply with students. The author called for a balanced approach where teaching and research output are equally recognized and incentivized through revised evaluation criteria. This is very important, the paragraph, and I think people may want to think about this carefully and see how the system can be improved. They also advocate for the institution of ethical standard in publishing, the caution against the growing trend of accepting article processing charge in lieu of academic rigor, nothing that this compromise the credibility of research institutions. The increasing frequency for article retractions globally reflect, and this is a very important point, the pitfall of a system obsessed on volume rather than substance. This is really very important. The quantity over the quality. This is something that it should be revised carefully. Ethical publishing should be grounded in original peer review validation and alignment with social needs. This is a very important point, and I wish I should underline this, but I couldn't do that. In conclusion, the article offers a profound critique of the Chilean scientific publishing system and proposes a visionary roadmap for reforms. The author urged institutions to reconsider the fundamental principle guiding academic evaluation and shift towards models that reward real contribution to science, society, and education. Through the adoption of qualitative metric, ethical oversight, and support for diverse publication formats, Chilean university can foster a more inclusive, sustainable and impactful academic ecosystem. We have some reference here for this presentation, although our original and what all the material we have is huge. And that is done. Now, this is the time for discussion if anyone wants to ask whatever it is necessary. Hello, can you hear me? Well,
Hello, Professor.
hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Can I carry on? Can I carry on?
you. Thank you for your presentation. This is Maya Molla from Turkey. I'm sorry, but
Hello.
I lately participate. I couldn't hear the first section, but it's an interesting topic about the publishing system. I would like to ask you to share with me this text to
Yeah.
maybe read and share with you another time. I'm sorry I couldn't catch the first section.
Well, I will be more than happy to share with you all the material we have. Just get
Okay.
in touch with me. You have my WhatsApp number. My name is Roberto Acevedo, and I will be more than happy to
Yeah.
contribute.
It will be my honor to take your number from the chat.
Well, you can take it. Well, yes, of course. Just do it, and I'm going to do it at once.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
You are more than welcome, Daily.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor. You have given a nice presentation. And now I would like to invite other presentation. So please, next participant, present your study.
Well, I'm going to do it myself, actually, for many reasons. And this is the paper 26. I wrote here part 2 because the title is just the same as before. Nevertheless, the content is not the same, as you will see. As a summary, the work examines the challenge faced by higher education institutions in evaluating academic performance. This is something that it is done by the Chilean University every single year. And focus on research, the evaluation is mainly focused on research, teaching and community engagement, which is okay. While academic staff contributes through cutting-edge research and publishing in renewable journals, forming professionals who solve technical problems and impact society. Other dimensions, such as teaching, industry, links, academic trajectory, heritage, and management, must also be considered. This holistic approach not only meets the expectation of the productivity sector, but also aims to create a framework for continued education quality improvement aligned with the current academic demands. This is very important because you see we need a strong support from the private sector to continue with our research. And what we want to do is to do something more substantial. There is an introduction here, which you can read if anyone wants this, well, you are going to have it. University must evaluate faculty in various functional areas, and this is the important point, not just research or not just lecturing, who is complex due to their diversity. I was talking as an example about law faculty, finance faculty, and so many others, medicine faculties. The way they assess academic performance should be different, but nevertheless, it must have the standard, the right standard to make some progress. This study, the second article, attempts to identify the main variable of academic performance to propose potential metric, both qualitative and quantitative. This is actually something which may be trivial to listen to, but it's not trivial to apply that. To judge the work of someone else, of another human being, is something very, very important and must be done with a lot of care. People are the most important for us, and therefore we should be very, very careful with their job. At one fellow said to me once, the scientist has a very soft skin, and therefore we should be very careful. Some commonly neglect the dimension like academic trajectory, and this is very important. It does seem that the academic trajectory, what the academic has done along his or her life, can offer efficient and better decision making that has to be taken into account. That's the reason why there are assistant professor, associate professor, and full professor. And if you are promoted to such, for instance, a full professor, it's because you have shown along your life that you are able to do a good research recognized by anyone. Also, your teaching is quite good because you have given a lot of conference everywhere around the world. And also, you have a critical number of students, which are nowadays these disciples. There are people who are working in different universities all around the world. In other words, you have done a substantial work, which does not mean that you should stop. It just means that you have everything to make your work better. This is something that we have been talking to the authority of our university and other universities in Chile, and they agree. Nevertheless, there are some points. We had to do mainly with money. Because you see, if they ask me, they ask you, or whoever, to publish in Q1, it wouldn't be too difficult. The thing is who is going to pay the publication fees. We are talking about 2,500 US American dollar up and higher. So that is a lot of money, actually, according to our monthly wages. Therefore, what we are doing, we are trying to make something not new, but something which will take into consideration the whole academic experience of the academic body, the researcher, and so on. And we're trying to be very, very careful. At the moment, for instance, we're having problem with a full professor who is a physicist, who is very well known all over the world. Nevertheless, his teaching is a student are not very happy about the teaching because they say that the marks the students are getting are not low, are not high actually. They are very low because the student doesn't know enough. This is something which needs a very careful consideration. The opinion of the student should be taken into account, yes. The opinion of the academic staff should be taken into account, yes. And therefore, there must be some kind of committee or something, you see, to establish the link between the two and to make the activity better, but not to punish people, which is something that I do hate. I don't think that's the way to treat people. For instance, we have teaching courses, diversity, student evaluation, supervised thesis, research index articles, patents, book, conference, extension, society impact, partnership, joint projects, experience, academic background, prior role, recognition, management, administrative responsibility, and dedication, and so on. What we have done here, we have proposed a function. A function will depend upon x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, and t, which are some parameters that should be taken into consideration when you deal with the assessment of the academic community in the university. This is, my dear friends, just true if you want to have a real university. Well, I'm very old, actually, and I have worked in different universities all over the world. And this is something that it is done on a daily basis. Although Chile is a very small country, that we can do better. And this is something we are telling the authority, look, we can do better, but we need your help. And this is very, very important. Similarly, and so on, you can carry on reading this. And we have tried very careful to make this presentation clear. I hope so anyway, and with the minimum number of words so as to not to go beyond the time we are giving. The next, for instance, says to work fair and transparent evaluation model. This is very important, and I will be really pleased to hear all your comments. Whether they are good or bad, it doesn't really matter because it's going to help me anyway about how we can do this. But some key elements of successful model include, look at this, clear, discipline, specific criteria, expert review, weighting of dimension, transparent metric, and feedback mechanism, differentiation between full-time and part-time academic roles, alignment with international standards where applicable. So this is something that it has to be taken into account carefully. Peer evaluation and self-assessment can enrich the evaluation process and promote a culture of academic improvement. And therefore, the next section is just the conclusion. Of course, we have not, I cannot show here the model and that kind of things. And we're going to do though. So we hope when the book appears. Well, anyway, the conclusion is the analysis of a quantitative academic evaluation model reveals the need for a multi-dimensional framework that integrates both qualitative and quantitative aspects. It is evident that the academic quality cannot be captured by simplistic metric. Look at that, by simplistic metric. The wide range contribution of faculty members must be considered, from research and teaching to authorship and leadership. This is actually very important, leadership in the academia, the good one, the positive one, leadership. By implementing a model that emphasizes frontier research and holistic professional training, higher education can better respond to society and industrial demand. Someone may ask why we are so keen on this kind of models and this kind of parametrizations in this new model and what we are doing at the moment. This is because, you see, I'm a reviewer of several journals, and I try to do very, very careful. It does take me sometimes 1 or 2 weeks, only just to judge the quality of a paper. But when I do so, I know that there is a lot of effort and energy that the other person or research group have done. And therefore, one has to be really, really careful by doing so. Otherwise, the best thing you can do is to say the editor, look, I don't have the time, or sorry, I'm ill, or whatever. But you have to do it properly. We have the reference here, you can see, and this is the end of the presentation number 2. So we'll go to the section of discussion, if there is anything I can say. Hello?
Thank you for your valuable presentation, Professor Dr. Roberto. Thank you.
Thank you. You are very kind indeed.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
I don't know if, can I go further? Because I had to go to the next one. I'm saying so because of the time.
Professor Dr. Rashmi Gujarat is responsible for the guidance of this conference, but now just you and me in this session, so I cannot take the decision, but I will write to them because just you and me, actually it's an interesting topic for me, so I would like to listen to the next presentation, but the
Okay.
decision is not for me.
Yeah, I will carry on. What about paper number 97? Well, this is something we worked for a long time, actually. And William Montes did a lot of work. And they sort of a former student, PhD student of mine, Sebastian Lopi, who is someone who did the PhD in France, and myself. Well, I shouldn't say myself, and I. Well, the abstract is very important actually here. The Chilean higher education system has experienced rapid growth in scientific outputs. This is true. There is nothing to say against that. And we are very happy that this is going on. Largely driven by or driving by institutional accreditation demands and performance model emphasizing high impact index publication. While this has enhanced productivity metric, it has also fostered problems such as reduced research quality, article retraction, and the expansion of predatory publishing. This study used in quantitative description correlation approach to analyze the criteria used in academic evaluation, highlighting the overdependence on metrics like impact factor and the number of publications in database such as Web of Science and Scopus. It proposed the inclusion of alternative research dissemination format, such as technical report and Congress article, and introduced a K-mode based classification model to facilitate a more equitable evaluation of academic performance. This model emphasized the pedagogical and societal impact of academic work and support ethical, comprehensive, and context-sensitive assessment framework. This paper is really, in my view, an important article because it introduced some additional terms which I have not seen in the literature so far. As far as the development of the article, which it should be called introduction, something like that, the article introduced a novel academic evaluation model utilizing the K-modes, clustering algorithm, and so on. This is really very important indeed. And what we are trying to do here is something which is new. This is the way that we are doing things. We have really done a lot of work. We have figures, tables, and that kind of things, which I cannot show here. But this is going to be in the full work in the very near future. But the model was trained on synthetic database of about 11,000 samples and applied clustering technique. Well, the database is quite large. First with 2 clusters, then 3, and then we wanted to do 4, but that is a magnificent, a substantial work, where we say normally a formidable work. Initial analysis revealed this grouping between high-performing and unperforming academics. The 3-cluster model provides better resolution, classifying academic into high, medium, and low performance categories. In other words, this model takes into account all the aspects of an academic behavior and performance, all of them. And there is a model which is rather new. I've never seen this before. And this had to do with something which it was actually, we use here Python and so many other techniques such as mathematics and others. And the idea was to present to the community a model which can be quantitative, which can be discussed everywhere, until people reach a conclusion and say, well, this is the right model, or we have to do it to change one thing or the other. We can improve this. And this is the right discussion in the academy. The academy is the place where relevant discussion should take place. Look at this. The study concludes with a call for action for university. This is very important. Just a phrase, a paragraph. Government agency and accreditation bodies to adopt more inclusive evaluation system that foster creativity, encourage responsibility publishing, and also align academia with national development goals. I think this paragraph is good enough to tell people and to call people attention that there is something which need to be improved. We give all the reference. It is a pity that the presentation had to be about 3 or 4 minutes. I cannot do more in 3 or 4 minutes. And therefore, I'm going to finish there, the third presentation, and now is the time for discussion, if any question.
I have one question, dear sir. Can
Yes.
I ask? Thank you. First of all, thank you for your presentation, but I would like to ask you about the principles that you depend on to classify the researchers into three groups. I think that you used the principal component analysis, but what the principles to classify to these groups?
Well, the first thing that we need to do is to identify which are the basis of an academic performance for any academic. The first
Yes.
one has to do with what the academic has done along his or her life. The second point is the number of new academic with high quality that have been formed in that research group. This is very important. It has to be taken into account seriously. The third one, it has to do with the impact of the publication they have produced. When the number of publications was low, because there was nothing, and some people start publishing in this country, and in all this country, just the same. The other point, which is essential for us, is to have a model open to discussion. This is very important. Not a closed model. This is a model open to discussion, and we're ready to listen to. And to convince and persuade authority that something should be done if you want to assess the academic performance of research group or people or whatever. But the main point in the academia is a community of master and disciples. And therefore, that principle is the main one. How we can have more better academics? How can we teach our students in a better way, in the state of the art, which is very important? How can we produce a new and fresh academic with new ideas and with the right question? People able to make the right question and able to answer to those questions, not just a paper, because you have to interact with the private sector as well. In other words, you have to increase the quality of life of the people. And therefore, science can do that. But you have to do it in a rather wise way. I know that it is a very hard work to do these kind of things. I would be very happy if you could read the whole article and you will see in a very clear way that we have been very, very, very careful to treat people, to do the right assignment, and what is more important than that is the model is not inclusive. The model is open for discussion and should be modified and improved by the help of the academic community all over the world. This is what we are doing. Basically, this is what it is my answer to you.
Thank you very much, but I think that there is a difficulty in that. For example, if the researcher work hard and make a high quality publication and raise a significant questions in order to develop the society, to what extent the response of the public or the awareness of the public or maybe the difference between the researchers levels. In other words, what's the ideal time to make a sense or the ideal time to impact the society or the other researchers or the public? Is there
Yes,
an ideal
yeah,
time for this? Yani,
yes,
uh, yes,
yes,
it's the hard work,
yes,
but the interaction between all the researchers or the initiative or agencies, maybe it is this is another important factor in this.
yes, yes. It is true, actually. It is true what you are saying. This has been included in the whole article, actually, but the point you have already made. And as I said, I'm going to send what we have at the moment, which is complete. It's a full study. But you will see in the next presentation, which is the final one, the way that good academic research work is helping the whole society in this country. And this is something that you are going to see in practice when we talk about mining, because Chile, you see, is a mining product country. We produce a lot of copper and metallic and non-metallic resources. I myself, for instance, I work on rare earths, which are very important, which are the basis of the new technology and the way that we are interacting with the society and with the productive sector and so on. So it is very important what you have already said. And I'm very happy to say that we have included. I wish I had more time and could show you the whole article here, but we don't have that. But in any case, if you have some specific question, please just let me know, and I'm going to reply to you during the day. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
You are more than welcome. And finally, this is the landing. The Chilean mining at the crossroads challenge and strategy to lead the energy transition. Well, you know, copper is very important. It's a metallic resource. And Chile is one of the main producers of copper all over the world. And although there is a lot of money involved in this kind of operation, export, production, and so many other things, that here, new idea should be placed in, should be taken and should be really should be implemented. For instance, this study, what does this study have been done for? The study explored the current state of the mining sector in Chile. I said the current state of the mining sector in Chile. The global transition toward renewable energy. It identifies significant challenges facing the industry, particularly regarding foreign investment, regulatory frameworks, and technological advances. This is something we are doing. It's not just a declaration of principles. We're not politicians. We try to do good science, that's all. Given Chile's position as a leader, producer of copper and lithium, the study underscored the urgency for a strategic adoption to maintain its competitive edge against rising competition, such as what is going on in Argentina, well, our neighbor country, Peru as well. Key recommendations include establishing a more regulatory framework that guarantee legal stability and encourage sustainable mining practices, along enhancing the use of innovative technology in the sector. Just to answer you, What we are doing from our research group, we are very humble people. We don't want to be famous, nothing like that, just to contribute to society. What we are doing, we are not just giving recommendations. We are putting forward some of our experimental results and how to carry on working, not just lithium. We are doing a lot of work on rare earths, producing nanoparticles, which is the future for the whole world. And therefore, we are doing what we think we should do. But the main point is that the country must take ideas, good ideas. It doesn't matter where they come from, but the good idea, and they have to put some money and to make this work. Now, I don't think we have the time, you see, to wait forever. Because you see, we have a competition, which is quite good. I wish we had a more strong competition with other countries as well. Because you see, that would invite us to work harder and harder. But we are transferring all the knowledge we are getting in our labs and in our association with different people all over the world to companies and to the government to take the right action and to improve the quality of the society. But this is the landing of many of our ideas. How to keep the best scientists doing research, applied research as well. And you see, what is very important is to increase the quality of life for citizens in this country and everywhere around the world. For this kind of study, there are no flags at all, just knowledge. And knowledge should be free and available for everybody who want the knowledge. And the author said a lot about how we are dealing with. At the moment, for instance, as I said, we have done a lot of work on rare earths and publishing a lot of them on that. And that is very important. Well, here you will find the introduction. The Chile mine stand at the crucial intersection, needing to adapt the rapid changing global demand associated with the energy transition. Everybody knows about that. Electromobility and so many other things. The lithium, the sodium batteries, and that kind of things. So in other words, a lot of knowledge should be put in place. As the demand for copper and lithium surge, driven by rising need for electric vehicles and renewable energy technologies, Chile must reassess its strategic approach to maintain its leadership in the mining sector. This, what I have written as an introduction, is really very, very hard to achieve. It's not just talking about things in general terms, from book or from, no, I don't know, artificial intelligence or whatever. No, here what we have done is we do the experiment, we are producing new technique, and we are trying very, very hard to work with high purity compounds and nanoparticles, which we are really needed everywhere around the world. Then, I don't want to just close like that. I had to do it as a gentleman. We had the current landscape, global demand for copper and lithium. There is a discussion about that. Competitive challenges, regulatory framework, and I think I'm still sleeping actually, the need for legal stability, permitting challenges, technological innovation, and investment strategies. So the work has been done. We have also focused on sustainability, comparative analysis with competitors, and conclusion. Just looking at the conclusion, the Chilean mining sector is critical junctures, this hold its leadership and respond effectively to the growing global demand for copper and lithiums. Chile must implement comprehensive reform focused on improving its regulatory framework, adopting innovative technologies, and ensuring investment stability. The recommendation outlined in this study reflect an urgent need for action to secure the future of the mining industry in the context of a global energy transition. We need more and more copper, more and more lithium, more and more rare earths. And therefore, we need the people to do the work just in time. This is what we are doing in our lab at the moment. And the work is very, very hard indeed. It's not easy. We not just do experimental work, we do theoretical work quite a lot. And therefore, we are having a very beautiful, but very, very, very busy life. That's all I want to say. I think I have been too long, but I'm very sorry for that. And all the authors who have contributed to this study are sincerely acknowledged. They have contributed from their expertise to enhance the quality of these presentations. And the book chapter contribution we plan to move forward within the framework of the scope of INTraders. I would like to thank very much indeed, this opportunity to let you know what we are doing. And thank you very much indeed. I don't know if there is anything to be said. Please just ask.
I would like to thank you very much, Professor Dr. Roberto. It was an interesting topic. Also, I am working about topics relating to sustainability, about the depletion of resources, also the energy consumption, and how we can achieve sustainability in using the sources, especially in Turkey. So it's so available and interesting topic for me, actually. Maybe we
Well,
can
please
combine.
let us get in touch, and I think we can do a lot better. I would be really happy to have some interaction, not just me, my group and your group and so on. And I have a lot of affection for Turkey. I know a lot
Yeah,
of people for many, many years. That
yeah.
would be wonderful.
Also, it will be wonderful to make a joint works together about this
Yes,
topic.
and that would be absolutely wonderful. So
Okay.
please write to me. You know my name, my WhatsApp, and we will carry on doing the
Yeah.
work and improving what we are doing.
Yeah,
And
actually, I'm sorry, but I think that every work must be incorporated with a global works because we all together live in this world. So the sustainability of mining sector in Chile also promote the sustainability in Turkey because of the process of exports and imports. So the well-being of one country means the well-being of another countries because of the globalization and we all live in the same world. Another example, the air quality, the water quality. Now I am working on the environmental topics. So if we live in a world with high quality, in a world that have a high quality water or air, that means that we all be happy and in a well situations. So
yes,
I
that would be
write you.
wonderful. That would be wonderful to interact. Please try to get in touch with me. It's easy. Just say the number,
Okay,
and
thank you very much.
we can get in touch by WhatsApp and so on. And we
Okay,
can start working. We need to work now. That's all. Well, thank you very much indeed again. And well, I have done my job. Thank you and goodbye.
Take care. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Professor. You have given a very long presentation, and continuously your presentation was very nice. I
Thank you very much
only
indeed.
Mayo and I am here to listen you.
Well,
Thank you.
well,
It was very
sometimes you
nice,
see, to have fewer
your
people
study.
is a lot better. Now we are going to do some interaction.
Hmm.
So this is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
To me, I'm very happy for that.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm going to be off. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. You're welcome.
Okay, bye. Bye,
Bye.
Maya.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.